I'm not a fan of the initiator role, to be honest. Like, I would never put myself in this if it wasn't like what we were missing on the team. I think it just doesn't like fit me right. Like, I'm not bad at it, but I don't think I have the same impact as other roles. Like when I was on like Astra, Omen, like just smokes in general.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with a brand new interview again covering VCT Americas KICKOFF event. I'm here accompanied by Vanity, the IGL of Cloud9, who are just coming off of 0-2 loss to NRG in their match. So, Vanity, thank you so much for taking the time. Like I said before, just want to cover this recent match against NRG, given the fact that you guys had a close showing in map 2 and almost extending this series to a third map, but you guys weren't able to do as that. So just covering that, what do you think went wrong for Cloud9 in map 2 at the very late stretch of it?
I don't think much went wrong on Ascent. I think they kind of just won the fights, honestly. I think the first overtime round we went for like one of the B pushes, and they were 4 outside of B, I think. And they just won the fights from there. Attack, like the attack round, I think they just had a good setup and they played into what we were trying to do. I think both teams played really well on Ascent. I think they outclassed us on Sunset, but I think Ascent was a coin flip. I mean, we lost both pistols and made the map really close, so I'm proud of my team for that.
What do you think made possible the turnaround at the end of the second map, which then led to the forcing of overtime and just uh, being present, the chance of you guys extending it to map 3? What made that thing possible from your perspective while you guys were on the attacking side?
I think we just started adapting really well. I think we had really good reads for the last like 5 or 6 rounds. I think even the round that we lost to force to give them 12, we had like a good read, but I think we just misplayed like very slightly, and I think it cost us the game in the end. But I'm very happy with how we played on Ascent. Sunset, we played pretty poorly, so that one sucks to lose. But Ascent, it's not that bad of a loss. We played really competitively with one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, and looking at Ascent, it's a map that you guys selected and such. As you mentioned already in this conversation, didn't work out to your favor. But what exactly made it happen as such?
They picked Ascent. We didn't pick Ascent. We picked Sunset. But
Yeah, I was trying to say Sunset. My bad.
I think Sunset. I think we had really good practice results, and I think they had a good read on us. I think because we play the same similar style to how we did in the off season. I think we also lost to like 3 thrifties. It was 2 actual thrifties, and then one was like a demon one like guardian round. You know what happens? You can like give these players this much space. I think that we were really struggling to understand that they had like a really good game plan, and we didn't adjust fast enough.
Yeah, of course. And as I mentioned before at the start of the or the intro of the conversation, you lost. As a result of losing, you guys dropped down to the lower bracket of your respective group, where you would then take on, I believe, NMIBR for the rematch. And so, your expectations on NMIBR, given the fact that I talked to Bazooka after they beat Furia last week, and they mentioned about how the eyes were set on you guys for the rematches. So, any expectations for that team?
I think they're a great team. I think they played a lot better than most people think. I think they've shown really good stuff so far. We played them really closely last time. They pushed us to the limits on 2 maps and then destroyed us on split. So should be another good game. I'm excited to play against them.
Yeah, and now that you talked about that, I want to now pivot towards the entire team. Now that you've been able to play 2 matches against MIBR and NRG, how do you view the current progression of the side from your perspective as the IGO now that you guys started playing and just shaking off the dust or rust from that long off season that basically extended to half a year? So how have you viewed the progression of the team, both good and bad, from your point of view?
I'm really happy with the team overall. I think we do a lot of things really well. Obviously, we have a lot of shortcomings as well. I think we've been trying to work on them a long time, and I think it's just a work in progress. I'm happy with the trajectory, but wish it was a little faster, obviously, so we could have better form in this tournament. But I think I'm happy overall with the team, and I think we've shown good stuff on some maps, and then not so great on other maps. Like even with how sloppily we were playing against MIBR, we managed to close it out, which I was really happy with. And then Ascent, I'm very happy with today. I think we just threw away some key rounds, and just threw. That's all it is.
You mentioned shortcomings with the team, but what exactly were they? If you're able to talk about that.
I would say the biggest shortcoming we have as a team is I think our some of us are a little too hesitant to make the plays that they know they should make them, right? But I think like the moment gets to them or something and they just don't. I could be wrong, but I think that we have a big issue in identifying like win conditions in rounds and knowing when you're the win condition and like when you need to take space like by yourself. And I think it's something that we've been trying to work on, and it hasn't came to fruition yet. But hopefully, we can continue to work on it and be better for our next game.
What about your individual performance as well? You know, how have you viewed your progression as the IGL with this new team so far this year? Although I say this in spite of the fact that we're basically less than a month into this season, or not even that, less than 2 weeks,
Or like,
honestly. Yeah. So
um,
yeah.
I'm happy with how I'm playing individually. I'm not a fan of the initiator role, to be honest. Like, I would never put myself in this if it wasn't like what we were missing on the team. I think it just doesn't like fit me right. Like, I'm not bad at it, but I don't think I have the same impact as other roles. Like when I was on like Astra, Omen, like just smokes in general. I think that I have some struggles with the role. I don't think I'm doing poorly. I'm happy with like on my individual level for like learning a new role, but definitely no, I'm not as good as I should be.
Mhm. Then why is that?
I'm not sure why I don't feel comfortable on initiator, to be honest. I think the agents are very. I think initiator agents are just like really. You don't like feel like you have a ton of impact on rounds most of the time, and it like I'm not capable of taking like things by myself because of how valuable my kit is for my teammates. And I think like some of my biggest strength as a player is like knowing when to like push the limits, and it's pretty hard to do that on initiator. Um, I feel pretty comfortable on like Sova, but the other initiators I don't feel nearly as comfortable on, and it's something I've been trying to work on. But whether that's by playing them in ranked or just like trying to improve from scrims, like watching VODs, whatever. But it's a work in progress. I'm happy with the progress I've made, but I'm still not super comfortable on initiator. Maybe I will be by the end of the year.
And hopefully, as you said, able to do that. If not in kickoff, then hopefully later on down the line for this year. And now pivoting away from that, now to just focusing on the rest of the team. It's been a whirlwind of a year, or when it comes to looking at you and your trajectory from last year up until now. I know I mentioned the same. I mentioned to you in the scrum interviews before the actual start of the competition, and how you've been progressing from last year up until this year. And I remember this quote that you said that 2023 was the worst year of your life professionally speaking. And
Yeah,
I want to dive into that if you allow me to ask
yeah.
that. And exactly what were some of the things that made it such a difficult year for you, 2023, professional, at least speaking?
I think that I just jumped into things too fast with Shopify. I mean, obviously the Cloud9 situation was, yeah, I don't even know how to word it, but stupid, I guess. Um, and then I jumped into a team too fast. I think I should have just taken the year off. I think that jumping back into a team like that, with how like I think joining a team would have been fine if we would have had more time. But with the limited amount of time, I think I should have just taken the year off and worked like on my individual level and like stream this up like that. I think I just tried to do too much too early, and I think it kind of caused me to perform not as well as I know I'm capable of. But yeah, I think honestly the biggest thing is I just jumped into stuff too fast. I shouldn't like realistically like looking back, I probably shouldn't have joined the team because of like how short amount of time we would have to change an IGL and change the style of a team because the way that they played wasn't the way that I necessarily view the game. And I think we did decent on Shopify. Like we weren't really bad. We had map pool issues because of like the limited time, obviously. But I think we were on like the path to become a good team. I think we definitely had the capabilities of it. But I think that given the circumstances, it was not a great idea for myself.
And also, it's in consideration of the fact that, as you said, joining in with a short time at your disposal, specifically on split two, and just having to work off of that. And has there been any like positive takeaways that you feel you could take that you experience during that time on the good side of it, or has it just always been that just that bad for you?
There's definitely positive takeaways. I think that I realized that I need to like go outside more. You know, I think on Shopify I kind of wasn't doing enough of that like out of game stuff. I was kind of just focused on like how to get us better, and I think it caused me to like focus less on like myself. Whether that's like going to the gym, like I didn't go to the gym nearly as much as I should have on Shopify. Um, Poor like sleeping habits. I got into like a like I wasn't staying up super late, but I would like usually I wake up at like 8 a.m. every day, and I was waking up at probably like noon in there, and I think it definitely caused me to perform not as well as I could have. So there was a lot of things that I did to myself on Shopify that were on me completely. And I do think the team failing partially was my fault. Not completely. I think that we had some shortcomings as players, but I will wear the blame for most of it.
Mhm. And how have you been able to take that experience and just transition that to this C9 team for this year, and just having to be a leader both inside and outside of the matches for players, for young players within teams such as Oxy, a player that you mentioned or you talked about in a prior interview, I believe with Scott Robertson for Dot Esports. And so how are you
Yeah.
able to take that experience and just transition that for this current stint?
I think Francis is one of the best people I've ever worked with in esports, like across all my teams. He's one of my favorite people I've worked with. He's very good at receiving criticism. He's very good at applying it. He has a very good like attitude about everything. Honestly, he's like one of the happiest people I've ever met in my life. It's really awesome to get to play with him. Um, I try my best to help him out where I can. Obviously, sometimes it's not received super well. Maybe he doesn't agree, and then we like talk about it. But everything with him is really great. I enjoy working with him a lot.
Yeah, and hopefully these good vibes with Oxy and then the rest of the team can continue, which would then lead to hopefully more dubs for this team later on down the line. So, Vanity, thank you so much for taking the time and just doing this interview real quick. Really appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.